Alright guys, so today's the day. We're finally gonna go pick the wheels up for the car. I got the message this morning that everything is ready. There is only one thing that they weren't able to do for me. I did ask them to powder coat the center caps to match the color of the wrap that I'm getting, and it seems that there were some issues with getting the color to kind of land on the caps properly. So they did end up just leaving them white. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, get the ride ready, put the seats down and everything, get some space so we can get the wheels back there when we get there. Alright guys, so we just got here to Luxury Choices. So John actually did the powder coating on my weds when the faces were peeling and the chrome was all messed up. I brought them here. He completely refinished all the wheels, did the lips, got all the curb rash out, polished the lips up, and redid the faces. So he got all the chrome off and then powder coated the faces white for me. I'll throw a picture of them up. But yeah, we're here. We're gonna go in and pick the wheels up. All right guys, so finally after 3 weeks, 3 whole weeks on jack stands, I finally have the wheels back. Gonna go home now, mount them up. There is one thing that I forgot I wanted to do before I put the car on the ground. I still have to change that cam position sensor. So I'm gonna go home, change that, slap the wheels on, double check fitment, and then get this thing off of jack stands finally. It's Friday now. I'm praying that I can get an alignment done in the next, I don't know, I can't do tomorrow, so maybe Monday, Tuesday, but I need to get an alignment ASAP because my wrap guy is just waiting for me to drop the car off at this point so we can get that wrap done. But again, I'm just excited to finally have the wheels and be able to move the car again and finish doing everything else that needs to be done and to taper this car off. All right guys, so it has been a couple days since I picked up the wheels for the G. I absolutely just got busy that evening and I didn't get to do it when I got home. I did end up doing it the following day. A couple other things we got done. We did get the crankshaft position sensor in place and we changed out the end links on all 4 corners. The 2 in the rear were both seized at the top. The top nut / bolt were both seized. I tried fighting it with vice grips, with PB blaster, everything. They wouldn't give at all. Luckily on the G, the end links are mounted to a bracket that is removable. So I was able to take that bracket off and I just ended up using an angle grinder and like cutting the bolts free. So I got the rears done. In the front, a bit of an opposite issue. I was able to get the end links in the front off really easily. However, the new end links were a little bit thicker than the previous ones, the OEM ones. So I ended up having to drop the control arm so that I could loosen the strut or shock to make space to be able to get the end links in. So either way, that stuff is done along with the crankshaft position sensor. We got the wheels mounted on. Sorry, lighting is off in here. We got the wheels mounted on and we've got our fitment just about dialed in. The cutting that I did to the over fenders in the rear happened to be just enough for it to clear where it is. I did have to throw 25 mil spacers on the back just to fill the gap a bit more. Again, the rear wheels are 11 wide, 0 offset, and even with that, they weren't really meeting the over fenders. So right now, it's actually sitting really good. And I think at ride height, it looks pretty good too. I'm not gonna get into all of that right now. I'll probably do a separate video for that. However, we do have an alignment set for Tuesday. I mentioned in my previous video that I would usually go to Stand Center in Tampa. However, with the alignment being off, I was able, sorry, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. I was able to manually adjust the toe a little bit with the eccentric bolts in the rear. And it's just enough to make it so that the car doesn't feel like it's fishtailing or doing anything crazy. So I am able to drive the car. However, the stand sensor is like 60 miles away from where I am versus Fly Air, which right now is just a little bit closer. So I have an appointment set with them for Tuesday, and we're gonna go get this thing aligned. But let me go ahead and show you guys what the car is looking like right now. So the first thing that's gonna happen with this is the Easy Splitter. We did decide to go with that as our front splitter, as opposed to the Aero Sport or the Dev Sport ones. Aero Street or Dev Sport. The reason I ended up making that choice, for one, I did make a poll on Instagram in my stories asking folks just kind of opinions. I just wanted some feedback. I kind of knew what I was leaning towards, but I wanted to see what others would say just out of curiosity. And it was almost a 50-50 split between the Aero Sport and the Aero Street and the Easy Splitter. So you guys weren't really much out there at all. But the real reason, or one of the main reasons we went with Easy Splitter, is because they actually reached out after I posted that poll and offered, you know, a little percentage to help, you know, ease the price of it. So we did go ahead and order it. It should be in, I think, this week based on what they were telling me about their turnaround times and their stock and such. So we'll get that in, and once that's on, we'll go ahead and we'll get the underglow started as well. We do have it right now just sitting on a Noco battery maintainer, just to keep the battery fresh while it sits. I did take it for a drive yesterday, like I said, just around the corner. I just wanted to see how everything felt, and the car feels good. It's running pretty healthy from what I can tell. So I'm happy with that. But onto the wheels. So these are the wheels. Again, what we did end up doing at the shop was for this rim specifically, we got the entire lip kind of refinished because it had a few weird bends like at the edges of the lips. So we did get that fixed. We didn't do any powder coating this time around because I really don't know how long I want to keep these wheels. So what I'm going to do is probably take some rubbing compound to it and see if I can get some more white out of it, because right now it looks just a little bit yellowed. So we're gonna give that a try to bring it back a little bit more. But the other thing the shop did for me was to swap out the hardware. So if you recall, previously we had gold hardware in there, but it was really faded, so it looked pretty crappy. And the other thing we did was go ahead and reach out to GMR, and we got some new black center caps. So this is pretty much what the wheel is gonna look like, refreshed. We did get the back in as well, but as you can see with the front, after changing the fenders, we are pretty much sitting fender to lip. I'm gonna see if I can do like some fine tuning or adjustment there to get it just a little bit tighter, but that's sitting pretty much how I would want it. And in the rear, we are pretty tucked. So again, because of the way the over fender sits, this is pretty much as far out as we can come. I don't want to be any closer because I don't want to make any contact with the over fender and risk that we crack it or break it or anything. So I think this clearance that I have here is pretty good. And I do like the way that the wheels tuck in there in the rear. So this is pretty much how we're sitting right now. The goal next is to, again, get this alignment on Tuesday. And from there, we'll be going to wrap. I'm so ready to get this thing wrapped. I keep telling everyone it's sitting in the VQ stereotype right now with mismatched panels, looking all kind of different colors, purple, silver. These two silvers are different silver between the A-pillar and the fenders. And then you can see the pokes of green through the carbon from the original paint color. So I'm just excited to get this thing wrapped. We've had the wrap sitting here for over a month, just waiting to get the car ready. And yeah, that's pretty much where we sit. The interior is pretty much done. Again, I'm super happy with how everything turned out in here. I just gotta get the tint done so I can put my dash cam up. I don't wanna stick it up there and then have to fight with the 3M tape when the tint has to go up. So that's it. That's pretty much where we stand for now. Again, I'm just glad to have this thing off of jack stands after 3 weeks, almost. No, it was 3 weeks, a little bit over 3 weeks, not quite 4. But I'm glad it's off of jack stands. I'm glad that I'm able to actually drive it now. You know, while it was up in the air, I was able to go get it registered, get plates for it and everything. So this thing's ready to go. I really just need to get this thing wrapped, get it aligned, get the window tint, and I am pretty much done. But yeah, guys, thanks again for sitting through this one. I know this one's a little weird because I've been moving around. There's a lot going on, but I do hope you guys stay tuned. I hope you guys come back for next week. I'm probably gonna take the cam with me and record, take you guys on the trip with me to the alignment shop. This will be my first time at Fly Air, so it's gonna be a little odd. But seeing that they're now closer to where I am, I don't know if I'll stick with them. I'll probably still keep going back to my guys at Stand Center because they're super cool. They always look out. Those are my peeps. All right, one thing I want to remind you guys, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all three, just knock it out. You guys could leave these videos on play, on mute while you're doing something else. Just give me some views, give me some feedback, give me some comments, do all that stuff. But until next time, peace out, God bless, y'all stay up.